All right, guys, welcome to the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here on the Fire Sports Pod. This is season 6, episode number 26. We are powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. We are going to be going over a couple segments I have for you guys. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. Here's our co-host, Irv. We are on TikTok Live, guys, on the Fire Sports Pod _2.0. So if you guys want to check that out, give us a shout out, give us some likes, give us some shares, give us some follows. That would be greatly appreciated. So our first segment, Irv, we're going to be going over the NBA. When it comes to De'Aaron Fox, he could be on the move before the NBA deadline next week. Appreciate the follow. Thank you. Then our second segment, in our first segment, we'll be going over any moves that the Lakers could make with a big man or maybe De'Aaron Fox, as well as our third move in there is where Jimmy Butler could go, where he might be ending up, and the contract situation, because it is ridiculous the amount of money that he wants, and then the amount of money that teams could give him. Our second segment, I know a lot of people not in the WNBA, but there's been moves in the offseason so far. So we'll be going over some moves that have happened so far in the WNBA. And then third and finally, we'll be going over some NFL news with Mike McCarthy saying, nah, I am not going into a head coaching job this year. He's going to wait till next year, even though the Saints job is still open. And we'll go up into discussion on why that is the reason why Mike McCarthy is not going there. There's a real legitimate reason why he's not going there. So let's start it off, shall we? I'm going to share my screen for those that are on the podcast here. If you guys are here from TikTok Live, I'll let you guys know where we're at. We are going over the NBA trade deadline live updates per The Athletic. And this has us going over a plethora of guys that could be on the move. Now, De'Aaron Fox is the biggest star. Obviously, the Jimmy Butler bull crap that's been going around is of consideration, but the big news that really shocked me, and I'm sure shocked Irv as well, is the fact that De'Aaron Fox, according to the Sacramento Kings, is on the block. Could he be moved before the NBA trade deadline? Personally, I think Sacramento will be stupid to do this. I think De'Aaron Fox is a bona fide talent. This guy is one of the best players. I think he's one of the top 20 players in the NBA right now. I just think that the way he's been playing as well warrants that discussion. But the Kings star De'Aaron Fox publicly addressed recent reports that the team is fielding trade offers to him prior to the February 6th deadline, saying he is prepared to expect the unexpected. So that just shows you the rumors are true. Fox could be on the move. The Kings' decision to make Fox told Chris Weidman of the Sacramento Bee, I can't tell them not to listen to offers, or I can't tell them to listen to offers. Fox also confirmed he had preferred destination in mind. I think everyone has a preferred destination, Fox told Birdman. I think everyone had a preferred destination if they're not in the place that they want to be, or if they are going to be in the place where they are at the moment. I think that's natural. The Kings face the 76ers tonight in Philadelphia. Fox is expected to remain in the lineup while his situation is being resolved. So, again, they're not going to do the Jimmy Butler situation. They'll suspend him, or they won't let him play, or whatever. So it's in the works. Do I really think that this trade could happen? Well, according to De'Aaron Fox, it could happen. So he's expecting the unexpected. And to be honest, for an NBA player that is at his caliber, you have to expect the unexpected, because you never know if you are going to be moving anytime soon. Now, I'm going to give this to Irv. Anybody out there on the TikTok Live, you can hear Irv. He's on the podcast, my co-host. He'll be kind of evaluating what his thoughts are on this situation, and if the Kings will benefit from this move, or will they just be flat out dumb to move on from De'Aaron Fox and that type of a talent. So, Irv, what do you think? Let me know. Let the viewers know what you think on this take.
Yeah, so for this take in mind, you also have to understand that I feel like De'Aaron Fox wants a new destination to get farther into the playoffs. I feel like every time the Kings, end up going to the playoffs, it's always a first round exit, or they're in the play in and then they have to fight their way for a playoff spot, which again will lead to a first round exit. I think this all started when he opted out of his extension in Sacramento last summer, which ultimately means that he will be a free agent, this 2026 in the summer. Do I think it's gonna happen? Not, I don't think so. I mean, you have the pairing of Fox and Sabonis in Sacramento, and they are phenomenal players. I think Fox is trying to pressure the Kings to seek maybe another talent. I mean, I know they have DeMar DeRozan, you know what I mean, but I don't know. I mean, DeMar is a bucket. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like the Fox just wants better from the Kings organization, because he's definitely putting the pressure on them now. He's definitely hinting whether he's gonna leave, whether he's not gonna leave. So, do I think the Kings are gonna let him go? I don't think so. But do I think that you know that Fox is gonna be asking for a lot? Yeah, I think he's gonna ask for a lot because he's a really good point guard. He's gonna get his money. So, for me, I like that he wants to go somewhere else because he wants to find another home, maybe, and maybe a better team, a better organization. But do I think the Kings are going to let him go like that? No, I don't really think so. No.
Okay, so we're both on the same block here, guys. If anybody has any comments in the comment section, you guys can let us know. If you guys agree with Sacramento trying to trade De'Aaron Fox this season, or should they keep him? Personally, I think they should keep him. But hey, I'll take him in LA. As a Lakers fan, I think the pairing of De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James will absolutely be phenomenal. On top of that, if you pair them three together, yes, obviously we know, well, Anthony Davis wants another big man, but I can 100% tell you that if we pick up De'Aaron Fox, I don't think he's going to be complaining that much because that's a bona fide 20 points a game scorer. He is a actual point guard. Not saying Austin Reeves sucks, but he's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. So if you're able to put him in the mix, that will just put our team from here all the way up here already where they're at. So I think the Lakers would do really well with this. We'll see how they have to finagle this move away, who they have to give up to get De'Aaron Fox. But on a side note, something that could work better in this situation if we can't get De'Aaron Fox, Irv, would be Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, that's a good pickup.
He's
That's a
from the
really good
Wizards.
pickup.
They were originally trying to get him in the offseason. That just didn't pan out because he wanted a lot more money. But if they're able to get a trade, that would help out Anthony Davis so he can become the 4. Jonas has the 5, and Valanciunas can shoot the 3 ball. He's a very good post player. He's a good passer, and he's a tall ass dude. So you could just throw it up to him. He'll get those rebounds. So there's a lot of that can happen in the next coming weeks. I just think that for our team itself, if we want to make it like superstar level, you go the De'Aaron Fox route. But the fact of the matter is we don't want to give up too much where are in the same situation when we had Russell Westbrook. Not saying De'Aaron Fox is worse than Russell Westbrook. I'm saying that it would have been the same situation where we have 3 top heavy guys and the rest are just scrubs behind us. So
Yeah.
I think that we have to take that into consideration. I think the smarter move is to bring on Jonas Valanciunas or Yusuf Nurkic in order to be able to maximize Anthony Davis and see, because he just put up 42 and 23 against the Hornets. He does have an abdominal strain. He'll be out for a week, but still, AD has been playing phenomenal, healthy as well. Just a little bump in the road with an abdominal strain. He's had that for the last couple years, so he'll be out for a week. I think the trade deadline is going to be a very, very weird situation. So now finally in this same segment, we'll be going over the Jimmy Butler situation, which
Mm.
he is staying prepared amid chaos. The Heat obviously are not going to be contending for anything. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. Just seeing where their record is, seeing how the team is playing. Overall, do I think Miami will be better in the future if they're able to get some picks back, get some younger guys, get some younger talent, maybe get a superstar that's a little younger? Yes, that could be something in the situation. But right now, the Heat lost to the Cavs, 37, who are 37-9 tonight. Cleveland had 9 losses this season, but one of those came in Miami, 123-113, set back against the Heat on December 8th. Butler had 18 points and 5 assists in that one. According to Eric Spoelstra, from the Athletic, I think has prepared us for a lot going into these games. So the preparation is top tier, bar none, when it comes to Eric Spoelstra and preparation. Adebayo said, one thing Spo's going to make sure we are all prepared. The game's going to play out how it plays out, but we're going to know everything we need to know in detail, to the point, to the T. And I feel like when you have chaos, it's easier to go through it when you're prepared. Like I said, all the rest of us got to worry about going to play basketball instead of worrying about the Jimmy Butler situation. I get it. You have to kind of say this if you're Bam Adebayo. There's no, I mean, if you want to speak your mind, you can, but to really bring the less the chaos, you kind of just don't want to even bring up the bull crap with Jimmy Butler. So I agree with the PR. Definitely PR trained here, where he was able to like kind of like weather the storm. Really not talking about Jimmy Butler, more about the team, Eric Spoelstra, and how they're being prepared. So I think it's the right move. There's a bunch of other stuff that we could talk about. Walker Kessler is Lakers' ideal trade target. Is his
He's
price
not bad.
his price too high to pay? Um,
Yeah, that is very true.
I
But he'll
mean,
be a really good
I
center
think
for
he'll
you
be a
guys.
great. He reminds me of JaVale McGee, a little bit. And then you can have like Dwight Howard skill set back in 2020. Um, So I think Kessler's another good. You got Valanciunas, you got Kessler, you got Nurkic. I think all three of these centers would be big time for the Lakers to pick up. It's just about the price and what we have to give up for these players. So we'll see. But other than that, Irv, what's your thoughts on Jimmy Butler's situation, and or if the Lakers have a shot at getting a center? In a quick couple minutes, what was your thoughts on that, and what center do you think the Lakers should go out and get?
Well, clearly this Jimmy Butler situation is just getting out of hand. I mean, I saw a post. I was trying to look for it. That there was a post that's saying that the Miami Heat, after departure from one of their games, or I think they were going to one of their games, they were waiting in the plane for Jimmy Butler for I think roughly more than 4 hours, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5 hours. And they were saying that like coaching staff, players were calling him, asking him where is he gonna go, and at last minute he's like, yeah, I'll meet you guys there. So just that alone, it just shows you that he's just doesn't want to be there. He doesn't. So now that he's suspended until further notice or until he gets traded, it's clear as day that Miami Heat need to get rid of him. Absolutely. Because right now the Miami Heat are struggling, trying to, mid-season right now. And like Zach said, I don't really think they're going for the playoffs. I mean, if Tyler Hero continues to ball out, and Bam Adebayo and Tyler could find a way to work between themselves, maybe they might get into the play-in or something. Because the East is not really as strong as the West, in my opinion. So they might be contenders for a play-in spot. But this Jimmy Butler situation is ruining, Heat culture. It's ruining the players, the chemistry, everything. It's a disaster. So some of the trade talks already for Jimmy Butler is him going to the Warriors. I'm sorry. I don't want Jimmy Butler on the Warriors. I'm a Warriors fan, and I'm here to say I do not want Jimmy Butler. Do we need the help? Absolutely. But at what cost? Who are we going to trade away one to get Jimmy Butler? I'm sorry, but I don't want that toxicity. It was the same thing for the 76ers when he was there. It was the same thing for Minnesota. It was the same thing for Chicago. And then now in the Miami Heat. It just shows that if he doesn't get what he wants, if he's upset about something, he is not afraid to put the whole organization on blast. And it's clear as day. That's why I don't really want, you know, that I don't want Jimmy Butler. And besides, he's old in age. I mean, I know he's still playing at a very high level. He's a great two-way player. He's somebody, another all-star that we definitely need in our squad. But I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna take it. Um, and then for the center situation, I like Valachunas. He's a good pick and fade type of guy, pick and roll type of guy. He is a good playmaker from the top of the key. I think he'll space out the floor for the Lakers a little bit better, and finally Anthony Davis could return back to that power forward position that he's so used to playing, and that way he could probably be injured less. I think him playing the center position, it really takes a toll on his body, and we know that he has a history of a lot of injuries. So who knows? I mean, I like that Valanciunas pick. Another one would probably be what was the other one? I mean, Kessler's a good one, but maybe his price tag is a little too high. Who knows? But I like that Valanciunas pickup.
Okay. All right. So, guys, you got my take. You got Irv's take. We both kind of agree. De'Aaron Fox, I don't think should leave. I think it would be stupid for the Kings, as well as Jonas Valanciunas was my pick from the beginning. I liked him. Or Yusuf Nurkic. Kessler's good. He's young, but he's got a price tag, and it might be a little too steep for the Lakers right now. And then with the Jimmy Butler situation, I just think Jimmy Butler is just toxic, and he just wants all what he wants and doesn't care about anybody else who's in the way. But again, the Heat does have a situation with this. Remember Dwayne Wade back then, when it was time for him to get paid after him carrying the team and whatever the case is. What did Pat Riley do? Ship them off.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can go crazy in depth on Jimmy Butler for doing what he's doing, but Pat Riley's got a history of doing this. So it's not, he's great. I love him to death. He's a great manager of the team. He knows what he's supposed to do. He knows what he's got to do. But the fact of the matter is that he's done this in the past, and it looks like it's reoccurring again with Jimmy Butler in the same situation. So we'll see what happens in the near future with the Jimmy Butler situation. But now we're going to move on to our second segment, and that is the WNBA. And I don't know if anybody out there likes the WNBA, but I've been keeping tabs on it. I check it out. They're in the offseason now. I check it out because of Caitlin Clark and different other things like that. I do like the NBA and how it's played. It's more of a team sport. There's not really one individual that's better than everybody else. Like Aja Wilson's great, Caitlin Clark's great, Sabrina Ionescu's great, Brianna Stewart's great. But the fact of the matter is that they're all equals. They're not scoring 40 a game. They're not dropping 20 rebounds. It's more a continuity. There's more of a team aspect. And if you guys want to watch really good basketball, like other than the highlights and the dunking and all that stuff, the WNBA is pretty good. Would not say that that's something to take lightly. They don't have a bad system there in the WNBA. So yeah, we'll be going over some trades that have happened over this past week, and winners and losers. First up, the Suns trade Alyssa Thompson to the Mercury. Connecticut gets Natasha Cloud, Rebecca Allen, number 12 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. Phoenix gets Alyssa Thompson and Tyja Harris. I personally, according to ESPN, they give an A for the Mercury with the trade. I think I agree. I would even go on the roll to give them an A+. I think the Mercury have absolutely gained much more star power. They needed it. And now you have veterans of Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi. 2020, they had Skylar Diggs-Smith, who helped with the Mercury last year with Kyla Copper, who got Phoenix back to the playoffs after a 9-31 finish in 2023, not back to 500. So I think this was a great move by the Mercury. I think this is fantastic. I know Irv really doesn't know too much about the WNBA, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Clayton Clark fan, so I'm not really I'm not really familiar with it. I mean, I know probably the obvious ones, and those are the ones that are in the commercial. But all these other people, no, I don't really know much about.
Gotcha. And then on top of that, January 26th, Kelsey Plum and Joelle Lloyd blockbuster shakeups, 3 teams, and possibly the Paige Becker sweepstakes. Aces get Joelle Lloyd, number 13 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. Sparks get Kelsey Plum, number 9 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft and 2026 second round pick, as well as Storm get Leah Euro, number 2 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft and 2026 first round pick. So this is a blockbuster move right here. Las Vegas Aces B+. So again, guys, this is a couple moves that's happened over the past with the WNBA. Los Angeles Sparks get a B- for the move. ESPN covered this. Again, the WNBA, like I said, is growing and growing thanks to Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, who's still in college, Juju Watkins, who's still in college. Those girls coming in are gonna make this the WNBA on the map. Already, Caitlin Clark did it, so it's gonna just get better and better and better. But I should definitely tell you guys, you should definitely stay tuned and watch the WNBA because it's got some good games, man. You got some good games. So Yankees 123 joined the show, and he said, "Thank you for yesterday with my picks." I would assume you're talking about college basketball, and if that's the case, you're welcome. If you guys missed it, I went 6-0 last night in my picks for college basketball. A lot of people were saying I was kind of stupid to pick Kentucky over Tennessee, and I said I kind of wasn't so confident, but I said I'm sticking with my boys in the Wildcats, and they were able to get the upset win over Tennessee. So if you guys are looking to join or to get any picks, definitely stay tuned to my men's college basketball picks here on the TikTok Live. Or if you're on the YouTube, it's at the Fire Sports Pod _2.0. You check it out. My college basketball picks never fail. My NHL picks this year has been absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the NHL is just going up and down every day. Like the Sabres put up 7 goals on the Bruins last night. Who would have thought? I just don't think that in general, anything in that works should even happen. The Sabres are below 500. The Bruins are above. They're a historical franchise, and the Sabres put up 7 goals. That's just one example of how crazy the NHL, when it comes to bets, when it comes to games, have been so far this year. The NBA, I'm pretty good with the NBA. It's not bad. The NBA is just the NBA. I mean, some players just go off for 43, like last night with Maxey against my Lakers. Who would have thought Anthony Davis would get hurt? So in the grand scheme of things, I think all 3 of those things, I'm pretty good with my picks: NFL, college football in general. So you guys should definitely stay tuned and check me out on the Fire Sports Pod _2.0. But let's get to our final segment on today's show, shall we? Irv, which is talking about the former ex-coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, is saying no to being a head coach this year. Now you guys could be asking why. Well, because there was one option left, and that was the New Orleans Saints. And if you guys follow the football, you know that probably other than the Cowboys, the Saints have a horrible situation to go in as a coach. They have a poverty franchise. They have been killed with cap. They are under $60 million in debt when it comes to the cap in the NFL. So the Saints are absolutely abysmal when it comes to a franchise. They are just like killing their coaches, killing the offensive coordinator. They have nobody. They don't have an offensive coordinator. I don't think they even have a defensive coordinator, and they don't have a head coach. They don't have a quarterback either. So there's got a lot of question marks and a lot of problems. And I think Mike McCarthy was like, yeah, nah, bro, I'm going to just stick to next year. There'll be better openings next year. And I'd rather go somewhere that I know I can do something instead of like basically going to be pummeled into the ground. And I'm going to be the reason to say no. I think even Sports Talk with Aiden, my guy here on the TikTok Live, says if I was offered the Saints jobs, I wouldn't take it either. I don't think anybody would have taken it. I don't care how much money you give me. I'm probably not taking that either. So I agree with you, Aiden. I'm not taking that shit because that is absolutely a shit show. It's a dumpster fire in New Orleans. And it sucks because the Saints used to be that historic great franchise with Drew Brees. You had Michael Thomas for those years. You had a lot of guys. The Saints were awesome. And now they're just absolutely garbage, which just sucks. But yeah, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, is going to be going into the coaching search next year, not this year. And that he really just wants to be a head coach. And the only options are a defensive coordinator, general manager, and an offensive coordinator, I think, for 3 other teams. So I think I agree with this with Mike McCarthy. But to be honest, personally, I know I was saying I don't want Mike McCarthy on the team. But if we were going to hire Brian Schoonheimer as our offensive coordinator to be our head coach, I would have just rather kept Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I just don't understand the meaning behind. I get it because Jerry Jones wants to have all the marbles in his court and his corner, and he doesn't want nobody to say anything bad about him. So that's why he brings up guys that he knows he can control and tell them what to say and when to say it. And that's why I think is the problem. And I think until that changes, Irv, you can agree with me or disagree with me. Until that changes, the Cowboys are just going to be the Cowboys and keep being a team that will make the playoffs, but just won't succeed. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. As a Cowboys fan, I never saw them win or at least get to an NFC championship. My dad did, and he feels bad because he remembers how great the Cowboys were back in the 90s when he was growing up in high school and in college. And I'm never able to see that. So I'm hoping something changes, but right now it ain't looking good. So, Irv, I'll let you get the last laugh in this segment, and we'll be ending our show very shortly.
I mean, this Mike McCarthy situation, it's absolutely, you know, it's just trying to I'm just trying to picture it all together because Mike McCarthy, I mean, he was a decorated coach before going, in Green Bay before going to the Cowboys. But then all of a sudden, I don't know, his time in Dallas, it just wasn't enough. It just well, I understand the injuries that the Cowboys have had. I understand that. But even then, I just think that he just wasn't coaching the Cowboys well. Now, if let's say he does go to that Saints job, I really don't think he's gonna improve the Saints. I think the Saints are just gonna be in the same situation, maybe worse, depending on how this year, like, depending on who they pick up in the draft and the free agency. But I think they're just gonna be worse this year. So I think because he didn't get interviewed by any of the teams or whoever team he got interviewed by, they didn't pick him up. I think he's just taking a mental break from this because I feel like if you are, no matter what you are in the Dallas Cowboys, if you are wearing a Dallas Cowboys uniform, that is already a lot of pressure because that is America's team. You know what I mean? Like that's when you think about NFL, that's like the face of the NFL. Because of how decorated and how they were, like how your dad said, how great they were, in the 90s. So I feel like he's just taking a mental break right now. He is, he's gonna relax, he's gonna, just take it easy and let's see if he whatever job he interviews for the next season for 2026, let's see if he can possibly get a job in 26. I think because he got interviewed by so many teams and he just never got picked up by anyone. I think he realizes that maybe give him a year. Maybe there might be a team out there that lets go of their coach and then boom, he gets hired by the team. Who knows? Or maybe he might be a coordinator. I mean, I don't really know. You know what I
I don't
mean?
think he's going to drop to a coordinator spot. He's been a head coach his entire career, so I don't think he's going to drop. But you never know. Like you said, you never know. But I do think that he's going to stay
Yeah.
as a head coach. But we'll see. I mean, the Jaguars coach might get fired right after this year. I mean, the Jaguars' new coach, he might get fired right after this year. So we'll see. Who knows? And then there goes Mike McCarthy. I don't know. There's a lot of spots that could open up after this year. But
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. For the first time me being back on TikTok Live, it's been a while. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be sending out my picks for today's NBA, NHL, and college basketball just right after the show. In about an hour or so, everything should be posted by 5 o'clock. So you guys can check that out. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to drop a follow as well as share and like the live. We'll be on live for Friday for season 6, episode number 27. We'll be back with you all on YouTube as well as then. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. Here's our co-host, Irv. Hope you guys enjoyed the Fire Sports Pod, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Peace out.